Mike, turn your games down.
Hi, everybody. Episode 187 of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who's with me tonight?
It's me, Kerry, Keruseta, Keroseta on Twitch.
And good evening. It's Cody, Swampborn in the house, Laveau, professional rhino wrangler, warden of the Riverlands, bender of limbs, winter soldier, gentleman adventurer, handsomest man. What was that, 2018? I'm coming back, people. Breaker of hearts, treasure hunter, friend to every single animal, some more than others, as you've called me the ostrich wooer, which
Yes.
I don't know how I feel about that. And
Hey, you're the one. He only wanted to kiss you and then murder you at the same time.
yes,
That's all.
that I do have that effect. I do often have that effect. And of course, father of Grovers. I am the Acadian Nightmare, the Crescent City Saint, the Mississippi Miracle, the original Cajun Crippler. That's right, it's Cody Laveau. Welcome back, me. And here I am the third white guy on a podcast talking about Mario's. Everybody stop. The room is spinning. I know you cannot believe it. Untreaded ground.
Hey, it's untreaded ground for me. I actually never beat this game until this past week. I never even gotten past the basement.
I have never been nervous about doing a podcast until this one, because I can fuck around talking about Tomb Raider and Dead Space. There's going to be like 12 fans that are going to be like super hardcore fans that are going to be upset if you get anything wrong. If I get absolutely anything wrong on this, they're going to crucify me, Mike.
Absolutely.
This is going to I am putting my
opinion
right on the table.
Start taking notes.
Exactly. So I'm going to start. I got a good bottle of whiskey, as you can see there. You know it's good. It's Canadian Hunter. I
Nice.
like it because there are two dogs on it, and you know it's good because it's in a plastic bottle.
Ooh.
It's $8 because why should you have to choose between whiskey or cigarettes? So let's get turned. I'm actually pouring a shot on the stream right now. Cheers.
Cheers. I've got my Texas Ziegenbach Amber.
Right on,
Ziegenbach,
brother.
Texas Amber.
I got my
All right.
Coke Zero.
Coke
here.
Zero.
Yeah, Cody and I both live in Texas. We actually went to the same college.
Yes,
Oh.
we did. Oh man, I shouldn't have. That
Yeah, whiskey hits, especially when it's cheap
Canadian-
whiskey like you're drinking.
Canadian whiskey, I think, is technically smoother, but don't trick kids. Pro tip: let it hurt you just a little bit. Don't chase it immediately. It's supposed to burn. That's how you know it's good.
See, I was drinking like turkey bourbon or something, I think it was, and it was it was smooth, whatever the hell it was.
Oh
A
yeah,
friend of mine brought it.
Wild turkey.
I don't remember. He just poured it and I just drank it. That's all I remember.
It mixes smooth. But yes, we did go to the same college, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yes. Texas State, go Bobcats, right?
Yes.
So we are here to talk about Super Mario 64. Published by Nintendo, came out in 1996. God.
All right, Mexico. Right. In that what he says?
It sounds like
You know,
sometimes.
He'll like jump into the picture of that place and he goes, Mexico, right? Oh shit. Have I fucked this up? Like, our nerd, stop. Do not comment on this. If I got it wrong. He does say Mexico, right?
No.
I think that's right.
Oh
It
god.
sounds like
So 1996. So I was 13, and this is one of the very few times I got a game the day it came out. Actually, before it came out, because my Toys R Us broke street date by a week. I got the
Nice.
N64 and Mario 64
Little outlaw. Look
a
at
week
you.
before it came out.
That wouldn't go this time.
Eighth grade? Yeah, eighth grade.
Oh, nice. Yep.
did not.
What's that?
I don't even remember how I played this. I played it at some point early on. I didn't own it ever though. I never had a copy. I just played other people's copies.
Let's see. I would have played this for the first time. So I grew up with the NES. It was a gift, like the old school Duck Hunt NES on a top loader, and I think I got that new, which I still have. It's back there on that shelf.
Nice.
So I skipped Super NES entirely until I was much older, and then I played like Genesis at a friend's house. So I was used to like sprites and all that, but most of my gaming up until what's that 1996? You said yeah.
96.
I can distinctly, this is a core memory in my brain, is I went into a Toys R Us and they had all three of them set up. There was the PlayStation on the left, there was the Sega Saturn on the right, and right there in the middle was Mario 64. And I will never forget this. It was set up to wet dry world, and it blew my mind. It's one of those moments where like it is burned into my, let's say, cortex. And I sat and I could not wrap my head around what this even was, because it was 3D and you could move in any kind of way. And I was trying to figure out the cameras or whatever it was. And I played it for about 5 minutes, and my mom drugged me away from it. And let's see, that was 96. I was probably 9 when that came out. And later, months later than that, somebody at a sleepover had one. It was Star Fox 64. And that's the moment that I'm like, oh, I really like video games. This went from a moment where it was, oh, it's fun. You'll play like Mario Brothers or Duck Hunt or like Devil World. Every child played Devil World, right? No? Okay. But kind of fun passing games. This is where I'm like, oh no, this is like a thing. I'm going to be into this until I am a sad, drunk 34-year-old man, at least, on a podcast.
Yeah,
it has stuck with me since that day, and it is, incredible.
Yeah, gaming has been my primary pastime for about the last 32, 33 years since I got the NES when I was 6. But the N64, it's good. There's going to be a lot of nostalgia on this podcast, because this game, first of all, I had this, and I got in August, because it came out in August, and then I got Shadows of the Empire for Christmas, and those were my only 2 games until Ocarina of Time came out. Those were my only 2 games, and so I played this thing to death, and to the point my eyes hurt, and I had to take some days off because it was hurting my eyes looking at the 3D so much.
Well, see, and that's kind of the thing about the N64 itself, is that if that was your system, when it came out, especially at the very beginning, there were maybe 2 games coming out a month.
It was a slow trickle. Which
means if that was your system, then all of us kind of have probably most of the same memories of that system. Probably Mario, Zelda, Star Fox, Wave Race. I mean, you probably rented that from fucking Blockbuster at some point. Mario Kart.
I had a friend down the street whose mom worked at Toys R Us, and so they had the discount, so he got lots of games. So that was how I played. That's how I played anything but those 3 games. I think I had those 3 games and Mario Kart 64 eventually, and I got Gauntlet Legends.
Oh,
and then I think I had one. Oh, and then Smash Brothers, and those were the only N64 games I had until I went to college and got the GameCube.
Yeah, I'm
they're so expensive.
When Mike first told me, or when I first begged Mike to be on this show, I said there are 3 things that are in my wheelhouse. Anything that involves any kind of nature, like deadly sharks or crocodiles. I know a lot about that stuff for obvious reasons. I'm the critter guy. I also love anything horror, because I am a horror fanatic. And the last thing is the N64. I am a weird, obsessive nut over that system, because at some point, I think that I was in high school at the perfect time, where, again, I didn't really get any systems after the N64 either. But what was nice about that was by the time I was 16, 17 years old, I was able to work, but, you have a lot of disposable money. And the GameCube was towards the end of its life cycle at that point, which means you could hit up the pawn shop, you could hit up yard sales, and you could buy N64 carts for $5. And so during my teenage years, I stocked up. I think there were 300 something games for that system. I think I just passed the 200 mark.
Nice.
Yeah, and most of those I got before I was 18 years old. Most of them cost less than $5. So if you want to talk
cost
about
less than $5 now.
No, they do not. I just priced it, and if little Grover Laveau ever needs to go to college, I think I can hook it up. I mean, not to flex too hard, but that sort of worked out for me. But yeah, but if you ever want to talk about Iggy's Wrecking Balls or Space Station Silicon Valley or Monster Truck Madness, I can talk about it.
I kind of know what you're talking about too.
Yeah. And it's like games that people are aware of, probably because they had Nintendo Power Magazine, and you would look at like pictures of like snowboard kids, but in the back of your brain, you're like, who the fuck owns snowboard kids too? Me, I own snowboard kids too.
Well, yeah,
so I'm like, Mike, if you ever get a game on this system, let me know. I want to be on this show.
I don't do many.
Yeah, exactly. Games. And he's like, yeah, Super Mario 64. I'm like, oh god damn. That is a big ask. So of course I also did pull out the big guns here.
God, I used to have that strategy guide.
I have a lot of them for it because I love the media of it just as much as the game itself. And like looking back through this thing is incredible. It's the official player's guide, which is still in pretty good shape. I think I was 10 when I had this. It's still in pretty good shape. The only thing bad about this is do not trust it on that goddamn piano. It says that if you try hard enough, you can beat it, and you fucking can't. And the author of this needs to be called out for libel. I want my $12.99 in 1997 back, please.
I used to collect guides. Like, I didn't have this game, but I played it. A neighbor had it, and I bought a guide for this game. Same with Star Fox 64. And I remember playing it, but I was never good at this game.
It's a hard game. Like, it's especially if you want to fully finish it. Like, if you want to 100%, it's hard.
I'll say I think it's an easy game to beat, but like 100%, which now I've done twice. Now I did it when I was a kid somehow without the internet, and then I did it this time, and I got to like I had 105 stars, and I'm like, I guess I'm gonna just go ahead and beat this just in case I can't find these last 15. And I ended up having to look up to figure out what I missed an entire world.
Which world did you miss?
The mushroom one.
Tiny Huge or
No.
Tall Mountain?
No, the one where maybe it's Tall Mountain. The one it's a small painting on the third floor.
Which is very easy to miss because it's surrounded by like the paintings that you can't jump through, and it's just like a little postage stamp there up on the wall. You might miss it.
I wouldn't know. Totally missed it. Missed it this time. Which is, I mean, that is the other thing is like I beat this game back in like 1997. And then I've come back and played it, but I've never played it past like maybe 30, 40 stars since then. I got 120 stars when I was like 14, 15 years old. I'm like, all right, well, good. I'm done with that. And then I've occasionally come back like, oh, I'm going to play Mario 64. And I'll play like 30, 40, maybe 50 stars and then just kind of fall off. But
yeah.
I've never, like, to me, this was a brand new experience. Like, I had played it as a kid and I knew the early worlds. I knew what to expect. But I had never gotten past the basement. I had never finished enough to beat the Bowser the second time. I never had enough stars.
Because Big Boo's Haunt was too scary. It's fine, Mike. This is a safe place.
I didn't like it. I suck at platforms.
No, it's fine. It's totally fine to be scared of Big Boo's Haunt. The merry-go-round is terrifying. The ghosts are coming out of the walls.
I never did Big Boo's Haunt when I was a kid. I didn't know it existed.
You know, it's amazing that anybody figured out all of those stars pre-guide. Like, if you wanted to 100% this game, like in Hazy Maze Cave, one of them is just like, watch out for rolling rocks. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, what does that even mean? And it's you have to wall kick blindly up to like, there is no way that some of those stars were not made just for that.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of really weird shit that I don't understand how people, like you said, I don't understand how people would have figured it out.
Although this was, again, back in the day when, again, there were like two games a month, and they were expensive.
Yeah.
Like, people will talk about games being pricey now, but they were what, like $70, $80?
I was gonna say Shadows of the Empire was like 75 or 80. Yeah, and that's at 1990 dollars.
I was just about to say that's really like $100 now.
There was no way. That's why I had 3 games.
So if you bought a game. That was your game, and you were playing that for 3 or 4 months. That was it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I mean, you had more.
I definitely did it. I definitely did it as a kid. No internet, no strategy guides, none of that. I got all 120. I've got the cartridge in the N64 in the garage in the workshop right now with 120 stars. But I went back and did it this time, and I got 105 without looking anything up.
That's
but those last 15 though, I was like, which there's 3 or 4. I didn't have to look it up. I think I had to look up like 6, but there were like 6. I completely forgot about the fish tank.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
Completely forgot the fish tank was there.
What fish tank?
In the
it's next to Jolly Roger.
Yeah, Jolly Roger Bay. When you go to or whatever it is, the third world, the water world.
Yeah, Jolly Roger Bay. I think it's what it is.
You can jump into. There's like a little alcove on the right side, and there's a fish tank that you can go in and get 1 star.
Mm-hmm. There's like 8 red coins there.
Yeah, it's 8 red coins. That's it.
I wouldn't go for that shit.
Did you miss any of the free Toad stars? Because I always forget.
I missed all the free Toad stars.
Oh my god!
Except for one. I found one, and I was like, "Wait a minute! These guys give me stars," and so I went back and got the others.
And
I got
free
the last one.
Yeah. So like if you talk to Toad on each level, he will give you 1 free star because he's
after you've unlocked the next level,
right? Because he's a very lonely little man, and he's just holding on to a free star. I think one is next to Hazy Maze Cave.
Yeah, and you can miss him easy because he's standing in the corner behind. You jump over him to get into the level.
So, like you wouldn't even see him. Yeah. And then there's another one that's upstairs, and I think there's another one, right? Like on
there's one on the last floor. There's one on the second floor, one on the third floor. There's that one in Hazy Maze Cave. I don't think the one in the entryway gives you. No, he does. The one in the entryway gives you. That's 4 of them.
Okay, so 4. Yeah. But which is just, it does feel a little lazy too, because it's like, oh, we have 4 stars left. Ah, fuck, because not all the Toads have them.
Right.
So like, just fuck it, just give it to the. We don't want to make a 3rd or a 4th slide, so just you know.
That really is all they would have to do is just make one more bonus level with like 4 stars on it or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I had to look up a few. I'm trying to remember which ones I had to look up, but there were a few where I was like, I just don't know what I'm missing. And it was this Castle Secret Star ones. It was the Toads.
Yeah.
And then there's the fish tank, and I think there's another.
There's a slide.
The slide. So I remember there were 2 in the slide.
Yeah.
But I did the slide. I did the first star of the slide when I started playing the game, like, because I picked up a save file where I had like 25 stars. And so I don't know. I mean, it might have been a year or 2 ago that I got that. So I just assumed I had gotten both of them. And then I looked it up and it said, oh, you have to beat it in less than 21 seconds. And I looked and my best time was 22 seconds. And I'm like, oh, I guess I didn't get this one. And I had to look up how to get 21 seconds too, because the shortcut.
I found that, well, I actually found out the trick that I did to that was long jump into it and then dive.
Yeah.
And then press B to dive through it. And
you
it
can do that, but
like
that'll just barely get it.
Yeah, it was like 21.75. Still,
when you first come out of the tunnel, if you just jump off of the slide,
and then you'll
land
down
at the bottom, and then it'll be like 15 seconds or 18 seconds.
My anxiety cannot do that. I will jump and dive, but falling into that bottomless pit just.
I'm assuming, Mike, you emulated it on PC, right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, as you do.
If I didn't have save states, my ass would have never got out of the basement.
Everything is save states.
Yeah.
Well, not when I went Hollow Knight.
I assume original hardware for Cody Laveau.
I actually played it on the Switch.
The Switch. There you go.
That's a good way to play it, though. I'm glad that exists.
And I played the 4K PC port.
Ooh.
The fan-made 4K PC port, which was made in Unreal. And that was a really fun way to play it.
I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, it's awesome. It does it widescrine, but it doesn't stretch it. It just adds, it just increases the field of view without stretching anything. So it's widescreen. So I'm playing on my, because I use my 55-inch TV as my monitor. So it's widescreen, but no stretching. It was great. But otherwise, the version I was playing doesn't have any kind of enhancements or anything. It's just the original game, only that. And then I was playing with an Xbox One controller, which really feels good for it. It feels like it was made for that kind of controller.
I love that Xbox One controller.
Yeah.
I do not own an Xbox One because most of my stuff is on the PC, but I have that controller.
I've got like 3 Xbox One controllers for my PC because it's the best. Yeah.
So good.
But yeah, that was how I played. So there's no flash saving, no special things. but I didn't remember if this was the case. When you turn it off, it does not save your lives.
No, it starts you off at like
At
3 or
5.
something, right?
Yeah, that frustrated the hell out of me. Like I had like 30 lives, and I was like, all right, well I'm done, and I turned it off. And next time I came back, I had 5 lives. Like, oh god, dang it, that was frustrating because there were some levels where it was just like I died. I definitely got the game over screen multiple times trying to do some like jumps, and you miss the jump, and that's it.
The jumps are hard.
Especially some of the later like the early worlds. You've got a lot of like it's mostly stuff where if you fall, you land at the bottom. But the later worlds, most of those are like bottomless pit worlds.
No, it is terrifying and anxiety. Like what was that? Tall Mountain.
Tall Mountain
is the one
Rainbow.
that just is those fucking mushrooms, dude.
Yeah,
it's bad.
Because you're just
Oh, I looked at that was one where I looked up too. I just wanted to see, am I doing this right?
Right.
With like, and because it's like you have to get to that cannon and shoot onto that for that 6 star. And I watched a video of it, and someone just showed, oh no, just go up to the rolling log and long jump off of it, and you'll land right on the star.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of those that I found out just looking at like speedrunner stuff that like not even to do speed runs, but just like unlocking the cannon in the first snow level where you have to ride up the thing, or you could just go to the edge, fall off, and you'll land on that cliff, and then you can get the star for wall jumps will work.
Oh,
just
nice.
There's a ton, or in Wet Dry World, and everybody hates that level. It's weirdly like one of my 2 favorites.
So wait, Wet Dry World is the one where you raise to lower the water levels?
Right. Yes, where you jump into the portrait.
Oh, I like that.
Lower.
I love that one.
Middle or higher to
I did not know that. I did not know that. I read that after
everybody
I beat the game.
hates it. Everybody hates it.
Hard.
One of my favorites. I love
I love that level. Yeah.
I didn't even know.
And I figured out the cannon thing on my own. I was really proud of it.
I didn't even know that level existed until last week.
It said like
because you never made it that far.
It said like fly to the town or whatever.
No, the one with the electric like arrow lifts in that you're supposed to stand on it and like go different ways, or you can just long jump from the place that you start. Yeah. And you can just skip the actual hard part of that star. That's nice. There's a few points where like if you know where to go, you can get like a bunch of stars like without very much effort whatsoever. But the only bad thing really about doing jumps, other than they're just balls hard, is that camera does not do you any favors whatsoever.
The camera is the hardest enemy in this game.
I did not like being that young. The first time, I think it's that thing of being a kid where you're like, no, this isn't bad. I just am not good at it.
Yeah.
And then coming back to it now, I'm like, I just don't think I'm very good.
No, it's just bad.
It's just not.
I mean,
it was the first
what it was.
It was the first one.
Yeah. It was like it came out right after Knights. So Knights was the first like 3D, but this is really the first one.
And then was Bubsy before this, or was it not?
I think Bubsy was after. But I think it was legit question. I think it was Knights into Dreams on the Dreamcast, and then this, and then Bubsy, I think. But
this is really, I mean, this is like the one that really started it.
Yeah, it was the one that popularized it, and it's the camera is god awful in this. Mm-hmm. And I was on the Mario Sunshine level episode with. Has that posted yet? Yeah.
That's been up for a while, Sunshine.
Yeah, I was on the Mario Sunshine level, and I was like, man, this camera is so bad in this game. I think it's worse than Mario 64. No, Mario 64 is worse.
Well, you can't even turn the camera around.
Yeah, I want to put it behind, like the actual Mario's back. I just want to hit a button. Okay, I'm spoiled because I still will say, and you can fight me on this, both Banjo 1 and 2 are better platforming games. And a big part of that is you can press a button and that camera will spin around right to his back and let you line up jumps.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
Banjo-Kazooie. I love Banjo-Kazooie.
It's better mechanically. I don't think it's a better game. But I don't like the collectathon stuff though myself. But,
yeah, which is fair. But as far as that 3D platforming, as far as
it's also like 4 years after, 3 years after?
Yeah, no, it was
years later.
Yeah, I think that was like 98, 99.
Yeah. So I mean, really it's Ocarina
it,
of Time that started what you're talking about. Ocarina
Right.
of Time with the Z targeting, where you press Z and it pops it behind you.
Because if you could have done that,
wasn't very much jumping in that game either, though.
Right.
Zelda. So I feel like
not even a jump.
It just kind of married those two things and sort of let you jump. Plus, there is a double jump in which I feel like which is easier, which some people might not like, but I do like that I can kind of auto correct what I'm trying to do with that game. Mario bumps into anything and he's fucked. Like there's that animation of
like
hitting, and he just falls right off, and there's nothing that you can do about it.
Yeah,
and the Banjo, you can at least maybe kind of save yourself.
The jumps are hard with Mario. I couldn't figure out
jumping, especially.
I couldn't figure it out at first.
You get up at like a really high. You're doing like a really big, like in Rainbow Cruise to get the coins.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing the really high wall jump, and you mess it up, and it's done.
And then you don't get the 100 coin, and then you don't get the 100 coin star. You have to. I just started
suiciding if I didn't get those.
Yeah, exactly.
I was trying to get the 100 coins, and I was like, no, if I don't get the blue, I'm just going to jump off.
On this run, that was one of 2 stars that I didn't get. Was the 100 coin star in Rainbow Ride, and
that was the last one I got in the game.
And the thing across from it with like the hat, and you had to like do cannons and wing caps and just And if you died, it would you wouldn't even lose a life. You would go all the way back outside.
Yes.
So after about 10
outside
times
the map, outside the castle.
Yes, like back out to the start.
You're on the top floor of the castle.
So
and
I
you
lost
mess
that.
up. I mean, 7 times did that happen.
And then I did it about 10 times, and then I just said, I am a grown man. No one is making me do this. This podcast.
I don't care that much.
Like this podcast will be almost as good if I only get 118 stars. Almost.
That was me when I had 105. I was like, I could just because I really want to get back to playing God of War because I'm just now playing God of War 2018. No, I'll go back.
All right,
do it some more.
Man, I got 90, and because what my goal was beat every mission in the main game with each portrait you go into, you have all the different worlds. They have about 6 stars you can get out of mission based.
Yeah, there's 6 plus the 100 coin star.
Yeah,
7.
So 7 per world total.
So
it's not like Mario Sunshine where you have all those fucking blue coins to get also.
I was like, I'm good. I did the 6 missions. Like this game almost wrote me a couple times where I was just like, I don't have to do this. I have 70 stars. I can beat the game right now.
I'll say you need 70 to beat the game, right?
Yeah.
Well, 50 if you can backwards long jump, which is what I did on my second run.
If you cheat, yes.
That's not cheating. It's being creative. It's built into the game.
Like glitches, yes.
Backward long jump. It's very fun. It's not that hard to learn. You should do it once.
God,
to feel so elite.
I could barely do the triple jump in this game.
I did that for the first time last year, and I did it on a plane. I was just kind of messing around on my Switch playing Mario 64 when the Switch Pass Ultimate, where like the games came out, and I did it for the first time on a plane. And I think I a little bit too loud audibly went, "Oh my God, I did it!" And like eyes on the plane. Don't say that on an airplane. And then when you hold up an electronic thing to try to reassure your fellow passengers on the way to San Diego, California, they are not reassured whatsoever. And you go, no, it's just this. Yeah, you will end up on a list, and then you're riding the bus home. Just fun fact.
I didn't like the controls. I had a really hard time doing the triple jump. I had a hard time doing the backwards flip.
That backwards good. That's my favorite thing. That's my favorite thing in this game, and in every game after it is to run one direction, then flip the stick back and jump and do that little. I got to where I could do that on a dime. That's my bread and butter.
It feels good, doesn't it, Kerry? It feels like it's satisfying because it's hard to do when you first start. Doing that.
Was that in Donkey Kong 94? I know that the crouch back jump was in the backflip was.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if that side jump that he does like into a wall kick. Like, I love that.
It's really cool. Yeah, and do one of those to get a little bit more distance on your wall jump. Yeah, it's
it's feel
fun stuff.
Elite.
And then of course the slide, the long jump. The long jump is so good, and you miss it so much playing Mario Sunshine.
Oh.
No long jump in Mario Sunshine, and it really you feel the absence of it.
I had a really hard time with the long jump too. Like if I didn't for the triple back jump, I would literally have to press Z because I was playing on a fake N64 controller. So that way he would crouch just for that second, then I could make the jump. Otherwise, I could not make the jump happen.
I could not do the somersault backflip a lot because I would want to move it before I had executed like the actual jump itself. So he would crouch and then crawl.
Yeah, so I was having a problem that I don't know if my Xbox One controller is getting stick drift or if it was something to do with the game. I had a lot of like Mario like walking very slowly forward, and if he was doing that, I could not do the thing. But I don't think it's my controller because I've had no problem with like other games of it. So I think it's something to do with the program. But if I didn't have it, I'd have to like make sure that he was standing still before I could do the backflip. And it killed me a few times too.
The Switch version is pretty great, but the main issue that I had was there was just a little tiny bit of lag, which you can kind of compensate for, but you'll notice it more if you're like doing the really crazy jumps, like in like say TikTok clock or something, trying to get to the very top of that flop or whatever.
That's another level I didn't know existed.
And I had to look up the thing about the minute hand. I forgot about that.
You didn't know that? Oh yeah, no, that's
forgot all about that. And that really, I must have died 20 times on that level before I realized, oh wait, I can just stop the minute hand, or I can just stop the clock, or I can make it go real slow.
Yeah. Why did they even put a fast mode on that? What is the point of that? Like a fast
just to frustrate you. Well, you think about it, you go in it because I went in it and it's fast, and I'm like, man, this level's hard. And then I went in it and the clock is stopped, and I'm like, well, why is the clock stop? Why did the clock stop this time? And I go in it next time and it's slow, and I'm like, what is going on here? And I didn't figure it out. And then I read it and I'm like, oh, that's brilliant. I love that. I love that idea of like, trying to make you think, why is the clock why is all the stuff behaving differently every time I enter the level?
There is a lot of very clever things in this game, much like that. And to think that a lot of people must have figured it out very like at that moment. It was probably just a lot of playground talk of like, no, if you go through when it's right at 12, it'll completely stop it, and then you can actually get those red coins. And then you would have to sit in class all day and just think about it.
Oh yeah.
And then you would be like, is that true, or is Billy full of shit? Because Billy also told me that I could ride Yoshi after I got 125 stars, and I can't find those last 5 stars, Billy. I think you're full of shit.
Yeah, fuck Billy. Yeah, that's interesting. So like
I don't think Billy's uncle actually works at Nintendo. I am betrayed, Kerry. I'm betrayed, Mike. I'm gonna find him on Facebook and cyberbully the shit out of William. Your name isn't William, it's Billy, okay? I don't care if you do work at a law firm now. Hang on, I feel like I'm getting in the weeds again, Mike.
Well, it's funny because, like, I'm a little bit older than you guys, so for me, the playground talk, it was all, like, Mega Man and stuff like that, Mm-hmm. But then junior high, 7th grade, I sat with my friends who all played video games at lunch, and every day lunch was just talking about Chrono Trigger and Secret of Mana.
Oh, hell yeah.
Just nonstop, right? But then the next year, I had a different lunch, and my friends at lunch in 8th grade, none of them played video games.
Oh, shit.
And that was the year Mario 64 came out. So I'm wanting to talk about Mario 64. None of them have any video game systems, and they want to talk about, like, Seinfeld and stuff, which is cool. But still, and so I would, like, after school meet up with my friend that went to a different school, whose mom worked at Toys R Us, and we would get together and play Mario 64, and he would show me, like, stuff that he had found out about. I'd show him stuff I had found out about. But so it's a little different experience. I don't know, man. I don't know how we figured this stuff out back then, though, because again, There's no, I mean, the internet technically existed, but
It was all
Not
message boards. Yeah, it was like somebody. Yeah,
I mean, I saw the internet for the first time in the 8th grade. We did a project with it, used the computer lab at our junior high. That was the first time I saw the internet outside of like a movie. So
no, I actually I was also in the 8th grade. I just lived in rural Tennessee.
There you go.
So then we would have gotten it about 5 years after the rest of y'all did.
Yeah.
That was it. That was about 6 months after we got indoor plumbing. So it was a very big year for us.
So what's everybody's favorite level? Favorite and least favorite?
Oh, I'll go first. Least favorite, Rainbow Cruise, because I didn't even. I never even knew Rainbow Cruise existed at all.
Fuck Rainbow Cruise.
God, I hate that level.
I remember playing Melee. There's a level in Melee where you ride a boat, and it was a Mario level. I'm like, what is this from? And I never knew. And it wasn't until last week I'm like, oh, that's what this is from. This shit.
Yep. There you go.
Fucking hated that level.
God, fuck Rainbow Cruise. I was about to quit. I spent hours and hours on the last 3 stars of Rainbow Cruise.
Oh yeah, that 100 coin star. I got it when I was probably 10 or 11, and I have never gotten it since. I don't know how I did.
I died on that level twice with 98 coins.
Oh,
98. 98.
See, this is why I played the save state only for this game.
Yeah,
because it's like. I couldn't. I mean, it was just terrible. Favorite level? I don't know. I really like the first level a lot because that's the only one I had any like nostalgic for.
Oh yeah, Bomb Land.
I do like that level a lot. I think that is a
song
great
in the game. I feel like, or one of the best songs.
I didn't listen to music.
Yeah,
definitely.
As normal, I didn't care.
No, I feel like you could almost split these levels or these like the two basically different kinds of levels into groups, in that you have the fun like hub world that'll change each time that you play it and you go to different parts, your Bob-omb battlefields, your Chomps Fortress, your Snowman's Land, where you'll start in a place somewhat similar to the middle, and those are incredibly fun. Your Ghost House, wow, this whiskey's hidden.
Big booze.
Yeah, why not? And those are amazing. And then you have your bullshit tower levels where let's like for instance your tall mountain, in which star 1 is get to the top of the mountain and star 2 is get to the top of the mountain, but there's a fucking monkey up there, and star 3 is get to the top of the mountain, but you press a button and you jump in some water, and then star 4. I mean, you get what I'm saying here.
Yeah. It just I did not like
kind of thing.
Yeah, Tall Mountain felt like an afterthought.
And I like the aesthetics of places like the TikTok Clock, but the frustration of climbing the same things over and over and over again.
Yeah,
getting 4 out of those 6 stars is not fun.
It wasn't creative. Like in the early part of the game, like you do have your mission. Like in the first one, get top mountain, fight the bomb guy. Second one, get top of the level, race the tortoise, and then or not tortoise, Koopa. But and then it changes. Like the game is pretty good about switching. My second worst level. I should comment that I just thought I forgot existed. Fucking shifting sand place, the desert one.
Oh yeah,
there's too many instant deaths in there.
Shifting sand was breaking me, where I was like, am I gonna give up at 50 stars? Like, fuck this level. Getting 100 coins on that one took me forever.
Dude.
I couldn't even get the first star for the longest time.
Getting the red coins, that was where I actually did look something up early. Was I didn't realize that you could fly without having to run. That you could just stand in place.
And
jump,
and just jump, and it'll take off.
Yeah. I did not realize that, and I was like, oh, okay. And then it wasn't as bad, but yeah, that one I like. Inside the pyramid. Inside the pyramid was kind of a neat, cool puzzle.
Yeah.
But I also, that was another one where I went inside the pyramid I was trying to get 100 coins, went inside the pyramid too early, got every single coin in the pyramid, and I had 85 coins. And I'm like, well, shit. You can't get out of the pyramid. And so that's it.
Yep.
Yeah, my least favorite is Rainbow Cruise by a long shot. And then my favorite is probably Bob-omb Battlefield. It's a basic answer, but it's so... That and is it Jolly Roger Bay with the big eel and all that?
That's a fun one.
That's a fun little level. That's a fun little level. I also liked Wet Dry World a lot.
I love Wet Dry World, and like I looked it up online, and like people have like like the vibe on it is off for them, and I'm like, I don't know.
I love
like
it.
yeah,
I like
to me
it it's
cool.
like
a good contained like playground with like platforms, and the level is different depending.
And then there's a whole other level.
Yes, that town. I love that town.
A whole other level. Yeah,
the town I almost quit there.
But I did have to look up one of the stars on the town. Also, I was like
the red coins.
I couldn't figure out how to get the 8th coin.
Same.
I and that's still stuck in my brain from when I was 10. Is I just wall jumped to them and got all of them. Like,
I just didn't see that last one up there.
I had to watch the video.
Yeah, so I think those are my favorite. I like Big Small World. Is it Big Small World?
Tiny Huge Island.
Tiny Huge Island. Yeah, I like Tiny Huge Island.
That was a fun concept. And it's okay. So I like Tiny Huge. It's really fun when you're small.
Yeah.
And it's neat to see it big, but trying to get around when you're is bullshit.
When you're big and it's small or whatever. Yeah,
it is bullshit. You will slide right off of stuff. But I love it when you're small. Too. Yeah, and you'll just.
It's another one where you just fall and die.
And that giant fish will eat.
Oh yeah, I got ate by the fish a couple of times.
There's a giant fish in that level?
Oh yeah, there's a giant fish. If you stay in the water too long, it's just a whoop, and that thing will come out of nowhere and just.
One time I long jumped and landed like right in his mouth.
Oh my god!
I never saw him.
Oh yeah, he's in there.
He's very scary. He's in a few places, I think, too. Like he's over by the piranha plants. Like
there's two of them. Yeah. There's
that world is interesting because it has two different paintings. One if you jump in, you're small, and one if you jump in, you're big. Like I thought that's concept.
Yeah, that was a neat concept.
Again, this game is chock full of stuff that is way smarter than it had to be.
Yeah,
especially since it was the first game to do this.
Yeah,
it came up with so many clever little things.
Especially in the third world. The third world, I think, is where, or not third world, but I mean like the third area when you're upstairs when the game really that's TikTok Clock, Rainbow Cruise, Tiny Big World.
Snowman's Land. I think Snowman's Land is very underrated because it's small, but every single star is different. Yes. I feel like that level packs in so much in such a small space.
It was hard, but it was
frustrated,
fun. Which is why I like it. But
the one where you have to walk behind the penguin.
Okay,
not get blown off.
I jumped on its head. I just did a backflip and stood on its head and just waited for it to walk me past.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah. I got blown off that bridge like so many times.
And then you lose your hat. You can lose your hat like in 3 different places in this game.
Yeah.
What happens if you lose your hat?
Take what, double damage?
Oh, is that what it was? I was wondering what happened because you lose it and then it's gone.
Because I think the condor can steal it. You can have it blown off in
a monkey,
Snowman's Land, and then the monkey. And then there's a cloud on there on Tall Mountain.
Yeah, there's a cloud on Tall Mountain that can blow it off. Yeah.
Well, how do you get it back?
So you usually die.
Catch it from the monkey.
That blows you off. Yeah.
If you die, you get it back, right?
No.
Oh.
No, you actually have to go back into the level itself and find the monkey and catch it. And then that's how
I would hate that.
Yeah,
if I wasn't playing.
Track it down.
The condor holds on.
Anything.
The condor holds onto it in Shifting Sand Land.
Yep.
And in Snowman's Land, one of the snowmen that throw the snowballs will be wearing that hat. You have to
cool.
run around him. Yep.
No, I always went and grabbed
it. Looks
the hat
really cute. I almost felt bad killing him just to get the hat back because he looked very cute.
Yeah, and Snowman Land also annoyed me because there's like an area you have to get to that you really need to get to if you want to. There's like a star there. You've got to get there to get the red coins, and you really need to get there if you want to get 100 coins. So you need to get there for 3 different stars. Mm-hmm. And if you kill one of the snowmen on accident, like you miss the jump, then all right, you have to start the level over. You're not going to be able to get over there.
The cannon, bro.
Oh, well, yeah, but if you haven't got the cannon yet.
Oh, well, then yeah.
Yeah, if you hadn't unlocked the cannon yet, yeah.
Yeah, well, then you couldn't get to it.
That's
that annoyed me a little bit. And that is another mechanical thing about the game I don't like is when you decide to exit a world, start and exit a world, and it sends you back to the lobby.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
okay.
That's annoying because I'm like in Rainbow Cruise. I have 98 stars or 98 coins. Can't find the last 2 coins, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm just going to suicide because if I exit the level, it's better to suicide. Yeah.
And one okay, kind of tying back to a point that I did a minute. When you collect stars, it kicks you back out.
Yes.
Which is again why I like Banjo better, because all of the jiggies you can get them
in one run. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a little
except
bit
for the ones that change the level.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
But no. Yeah. But I mean, like if there's 10 per level in that game, you can typically get 9, and you never have to leave the level itself, which I
and in this you can only do that with the 100-star one. So I usually tried to get the 100-star one while I was doing another one. I'd usually try to get the 100-star while I was doing the 8 red coins, exactly, because it's like you're going to get the 8 red coins.
That's like 16 free, so
exactly.
Yeah, no, it gets very frustrating with that.
And getting kicked back out to the lobby was annoying, but nothing was more annoying in that regard than falling on the one we were talking about a minute ago, and then you fall into the moat.
I would rather lose a life.
Kidding.
I would rather lose.
Yeah, I would just rather lose a life.
Yeah.
Which I guess you don't lose a life, but
no,
still.
And you don't even lose a life on it. You just you get kicked out all the way back to the start, and you got to.
And it's all about you just have to fire the cannon just right, and then the thing with the cannon is, you're not going to go right where the crosshairs are, because you've got to account for gravity, elevation and gravity. And it's just like
it just lifts you back up when you're wearing that. But
you're just eyeballing it, really.
And again, God forbid you run into the side of anything, because if Mario hits the sides of anything, he is fucked.
Yeah.
If Mario hits anything, he's more fucked than a jackrabbit on a date, Kerry. That's how fucked he is. Okay?
Do you guys use the?
This is a clean podcast too, right? I shouldn't be swearing as much.
Oh, you can swear all you want. I don't care.
Hell yeah.
You can with the camera also.
I swear all the time too.
So when you hit I guess on the Xbox controller is the right trigger. I don't know. I guess it's the right bumper on the N64 controller, but it changes the camera from Lakitu to Mario.
Yeah.
And you would think, that's just going to put you right behind me. But no, not really.
It's first person, but worse. And also he can't move. So I don't know what the point is.
No. Not when you're zoomed in. I mean,
I thought when you're zoomed in and his head's going around.
When you change it from Lakitu to Mario cam, so it's like following you, but it's like, it's still not, you want it to just be behind you, but instead
directly.
It's following you, but not as if Lakitu is like flying around you, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. It was useful on a couple of like things, a couple of like tightrope kind of things, but
I wish that if that they have kind of a first person look around, which I guess is good if you want to look for like hidden stuff. But I don't know why they put it on the back side of Mario's head.
Yeah.
So I just like 60% of that screen, I'm just looking at the back of like a middle-aged man's head.
Yeah. Yeah, it was something.
It's really hard. I mean, it is really hard to see things. And I mean, I feel like this game is a huge difficulty spike with the last world that we've mostly been talking about. It got a lot harder. Like, I could see why young Mike never got out of the basement. I could completely get it.
How did you like the Bowser fights?
They're stupid.
Well, I like the idea of it, but man, I have like a really hard time aiming that throw, and also because if you do it slow, then you're not going to throw it far enough. So, like, what I would really try to do is try to grab him right next to one, so I can just basically barely toss him into it. But
I had a trick to doing them that worked for me. I would start to swing them, hit F5, and then hit F7 if it didn't work, and then hit F7 again until I lined up just right, and it worked just fine.
It's amazing how often that particular trick works in the game.
It works all the time in this game. Yeah. Oh, you missed that jump and fell to your death? F7. Oh, never happened. Okay, let's try again. Oh, you fell again? F7. Let's keep doing that. I mean, again, it's brutal. Like, because I would try to do it legit a little bit, like when it came to throwing him, and I was like, how? I kept missing too. Like, it was very hard to tell when you're supposed to let go of that tail so it hits the spikes, because the spikes aren't that big. Yeah,
and the final fight, the level is really big. So you've got to swing him really fast to throw him, and you miss, he jumps back on, and it breaks the map.
It breaks the map. It's shaped like a star, and then he's also going to shoot fire at you.
Yeah, and then not only is he shooting fire at you, but then the blue fire will chase you down.
Yes.
And like I would be swinging him around, and a blue fire would like hit me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My
At
other
least if
issue
the
is
blue fire doesn't hit you, it leaves behind 2 coins so you can heal yourself, but still.
it's
Yeah,
also
but
the
still.
same fight. All three are the same fight with a little bit differences. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true.
pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, the only big difference is the last one. Well, no, I guess they've all got a little
Yeah,
gimmick.
so,
Because the
yeah.
second
Little
one
bit.
is tilting on lava.
Yeah, and then he'll like, and then he will teleport during the second fight, and he'll tilt the thing
Yeah.
up. And then the last one, he can do all of his tricks, and he breathes fire up in the air, and it turns into a star. But yeah, it's all the
They're
same.
not good fights.
Yeah.
But I don't think Mario's
It's okay.
known for really good boss fights, especially at this time. Like Super Mario World boss fights are fine, but it's not like you're playing a Mario game. But I didn't like it.
I
And
think the final boss fight of Super Mario World is the best Mario boss fight.
well,
Okay,
and
that one's good. But I'm thinking like the regular ones aren't. Like the Koopalines aren't very good.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel like this is also a product of them not really knowing what to do, because
Yeah.
Mario can either jump on stuff or he can punch things, and you don't punch a whole lot in this game anyway. So
It's
like,
rarely useful. It's
yeah,
usually better to
I
jump
can't
on
think.
things.
I think the only time that you punch is on the Shifting Sandlands boss fight with the eyeball hands.
Yeah.
You have to
that's-
there in the bullies in the fireplace. You can
No,
you
do
don't
it.
have
no,
to. No,
you can jump and fall on them. That's
yeah,
how I
you
kill
can ground pound the bullies. You can also jump and kick them.
Which
In fact, I find
I-
that to be the best.
I would-
jump and kick, jump and
Yeah.
kick.
So, like, again, the only time that I would ever do that was the boss hands fight,
Okay.
which I can see them thinking about it, and they're like, okay, you've been jumping on stuff, and like Bowser has to be something different, and I think that's probably
And grabbing
the
him
best
by the
they can
tail
come
and
up
throwing
with.
him, I think it's a good idea. It just mechanically doesn't work very well.
Especially since that's the first time that the stick was ever used for anything. So
Yeah.
they're like, what can we do with a stick that goes 360? Like, I guess
Yeah.
spin it around. I guess why not?
Yeah, and those sticks, by the way, did not hold up to a lot of that.
No,
That was like, especially
Mario
when-
Party killed that. I think.
Yeah, Mario Party. My friends and I, we were a little old. I think we're at that age where we're too old to like games like Mario Party, but too young to like games like Mario Party.
Mhm.
You know, we're in that sweet space where
Yeah.
And so, but it was Smash Brothers by like playing Smash Brothers like 2 hours a day every
I can
single
see
day.
Yeah, I could see
by like the end of senior year of high school, we had 4 useless Nintendo 64 controllers, and those things were expensive.
Mhm. Oh yeah. Again, like $60, $70 and $90. So
Yeah.
they're, again, probably close to like $95 by now money.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it's like a PS5 controller.
Yeah.
I love in that game, even like it was such a novel thing that even when you first meet Bowser, if you don't if you actually read his text and don't just like scroll past it because no one reads that, even Bowser has to be like, I bet you can't grab me by the tail and spin me into those bombs, Mario.
Oh, does he really?
I think, yeah, no, he does say
That's
that.
funny.
Like, I think Bowser is kind of like into it. I think it's like a kink. Otherwise, like, why would he ever say that? He's
That's
like,
true.
surely you're not strong enough to do this to me, Mario.
To bring up a joke I've said on the show before, but it's been a while. A long time ago, somebody sent me, some fan of the show sent me on Facebook. I hope she still listens. But a little meme or something where it was Mario, Bowser, and Peach all sitting on a couch, and it was that they had a kidnap fetish thing.
Oh,
It was
no,
a
that's
poly relationship.
definitely a sex thing. There's no doubt.
That's what I think of now every
That's
time.
absolutely a sex thing.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Yeah. Which I did notice in this game. I don't think I ever noticed it before. Beating this game, Peach is behind that stained glass window the entire time, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm 34 years old. This is probably the 15th time that I finished this game. I just noticed that.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah, because that star goes up right in front of that stained glass window in the front of the castle and then disappears at the end of the game. And then she shows up right in front of the stained glass picture of herself and then doodly's down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how I never thought of that she was just hiding up there the whole time. So if Mario had like a cannon or something, he probably could have just punched through it and saved us all
Yeah.
a bunch of time.
I mean, Yoshi was up there the whole time too. So
God damn it, Yoshi.
I think he could have done something, but nope.
Could have given me a much better jump and 99 lives. You could have let me
yeah,
hop
it
on
gives you
your back.
99 lives. Do you keep them? Because I haven't turned it on since.
No,
What are you gonna do with
but
it?
you
That's-
can
that's
go
the
back
thing.
up there again. I mean, like he's
Yeah.
there every time. I know that he jumps off into the waterfall and suicides himself, like when you don't get enough coins in Rainbow Road, but if you reset the game, then he's back up there.
He's back up there, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is pointless. You have 99 lives. What are you going to do with him?
It was weird having Yoshi talk also.
You know, I never thought about that, but you're right. He only says his own name.
Yeah, yeah. In this one, he like has like a whole thing of dialogue where he's like, "Thank you for playing Mario 64, but the fun's not over." He like breaks the fourth wall.
Wait, Yoshi is also like his proper name, but it's also the name of the species, right?
Yeah.
It's like your name is man or human.
So are all Yoshis male? And then why are they laying eggs? This is things I have not thought of.
Do they lay the eggs?
Well, I mean, they poop them out, right? Like in Yoshi's story.
Oh, okay, I was going to say he spits eggs.
Super Mario World 2.
Yoshi's story, he and just pops them out.
Super Mario World 2 also.
Yeah, so like he's...
I'm saying in Super Mario World 2, are they coming out of your butt or your mouth?
Well,
they're not coming out of his mouth.
Well, I would assume like every other kind of reptile, Yoshi has a cloaca, which is a combination vagina and poop hole. If you're listening at a home, I'm trying to keep this as scientific as I possibly can. I'm going to drink some more whiskey, but no, all birds and most reptiles just have a single hole. It's more efficient. So presumably Yoshi is spitting them out of there, which would also make him not male, or maybe it would. I don't know. I have not thought about this very much until this exact moment.
Asexual reptiles, right? Like frogs that can be either maybe not asexual, but what's the term?
It is called parthenogenesis, which is where a creature inseminates itself, which is very common among birds and a bunch of different species of reptiles. I worked with, yes, actually, very much so. Life finds a way, as we all like to say. So Yoshi could possibly be an entirely female race.
Well, Yoshi is also a bipedal dinosaur, which makes him a theropod, which makes him more related to birds.
Which would make him a chicken. So this is absolutely right. Okay,
right.
So Yoshi is an entirely female species of chicken-like sauropod that only reproduces through parthenogenesis.
There you go.
And don't say you didn't learn anything on this podcast.
She talks to you and gives you 99 lives and a super jump that you then have nothing to do with.
I don't know what
I will never get.
See, what it should have done was a new game plus.
Yeah, very much so.
I would start over as 0 stars, but you have the star jump.
One thing that you can do, and I don't know if there's more stuff to this because I've never bothered to look, probably in the player's guide. I will look through it while y'all speak on this, but I do know that the penguin in Frosty Place Peak, let's call it, he gets really fat and then he's harder to race after you beat the game. That is real. I did not know that until I looked back at this again.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's a real thing. Let's see here.
But that's what I love about this game. Does have things that I did like I enjoyed. That is cool. Okay, I've never done that.
Fat penguin, yeah.
Yeah, he's much fatter. I just showed them a picture of that.
That's just after you beat the game at all.
Yeah,
too.
Yeah, that's after you beat the game.
Okay.
Oh
yeah, they knew what to do at the time.
That's after you get 120 stars.
Oh, okay.
He suddenly gets very fat and he's harder to rate.
That's such an odd thing to do.
Yeah.
But who's even going to go and do it again?
Yeah, like, who would find that? Who would go back?
Like once that is really the thing. Like once you got 120 stars, there's nothing left to do. But
somebody who only has the one game.
Leave that save file on your cartridge.
Yeah, and like to show people. Do you think you would start a new game and you would never why would you go back to just that level to see if anything was
well, my guess is if, let's say here you're 10, 11 years old, it's your only game. I mean, you just can't play it. So you're like, I'll just do everything all over again in the same save file.
Or you just own this book, and then that's how you know.
That too.
Well, by the time I got 120 stars, I had GoldenEye too. There you go.
I played a lot of GoldenEye.
So yeah,
so much GoldenEye.
What is it? The 007 ranking on every level. So you always had more to do.
I couldn't do it, but my friend Peter, who's been on the show many times, he was able to do stuff like that. So
yeah, that was Mario 64 is the first game I ever 100%ed, and then I think GoldenEye was the second I ever did. So
Nice.
Dude,
and now that's kind of like my MO of games is I try to 100% everything.
That is impressive. If you,
I try.
If you
I don't
can
always,
100%. No, I mean GoldenEye is a hard game.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, to get the well, I consider
Egyptian on 00. That is god tier, dude.
getting the 00 on every level. Yeah, that's spent a lot of time on that.
Yeah, I think it was Star Fox was the first one that I ever gotten because you would get gold medals on everything, and then there was a new game plus that was harder, and you get gold medals on all of that, and then you could play the characters in multiplayer where they were walking, they were just like walking around holding like rocket launchers.
Oh, you're talking about Star Fox 64.
Yeah, Star Fox.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the original Star Fox. I was like, man, when I was a kid, I couldn't even beat Star Fox.
Oh no,
Still can't beat Star Fox.
I only rented, but
Even with cheating.
Oh, that's
I beat that with an emulator in college. I burnt some. I was like so intent on the Andros fight that I burnt something in the microwave and caused fill my dorm with smoke, my floor with smoke, and everybody's mad at me.
One thing we haven't mentioned yet about Mario 64 is that there are 3 different hats you can get in this game. You have to unlock with switches. One being the red hat, which lets you fly, a green hat that turns you into Metal Mario, and a blue hat that makes you be able to run through some walls or some things.
Yeah.
Which I don't.
It's called the Vanish Cap, but really just become like a ghost, basically. You can go through stuff. And you don't take damage.
Yeah. I only use them when
the metal cap makes you heavy, so you can walk in water.
Is great. I love
that. You also don't have to breathe, so you can go through the poison smoke and Hazy Maze cave of it.
Yep.
We haven't talked about Hazy Maze Cave yet.
Yeah, I like that level. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's got a lot of stuff going on.
Where other than the Loch Ness Monster area, which I think 2 or 3 stars are there, everything is spread out and it's different.
Yeah.
So everything you do, you're going to kind of a different spot. That's a very fun level.
Yeah.
Although those red coins can suck a fat.
Yeah, I fell a lot doing those. And I also I could not. I was like convinced for a while that I had to kill the eyes that are up there if they're red coins, and you don't though. You don't. But I was like convinced, I need to kill those eyes.
Yeah, that you have to run around them.
And there's no room to run around them.
Oh yeah, no. It is.
I eventually gave up on that, but I thought I would need to do that to get 100 coins, but
you can just barely squeeze it out. There's a few levels in this game. I think the worst for it is Dire Docks, where you can just barely I think there's 105 coins in that level total.
No, I think Rainbow Cruise is up there.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, everything's so spread out.
Yeah, because Rainbow Cruise, the time that I got 100 coins, I ended up getting 101 total.
Oh shit!
So yeah, it was rough.
Yeah, no.
Dire Docks is one where there's
one's one where I got every single coin, and I think it's 105. I think it's you are skinny your teeth with that one.
Yeah, the good thing with that one is there's nothing that you can fail.
Yeah, this is true. It didn't killing in having to kill someone to get the. Wow, that's not.
Well, no. You know what? No, I'm wrong because in Dire Docks there are the 5 blue coins still.
Oh yes.
So, yeah, if you don't get those 5 blue coins, you're not going to do it.
Then that's it. You have to.
And it's the same thing with Rainbow Cruise. You don't get the 5. I think you can maybe miss one of those 5, one of the coins, but maybe.
And that's off of a very difficult wall jump.
That's super high wall jump.
You have to go all the way out to that vertical maze and just hit that block, wall jump up to it, and if you screw it up even a little bit, level over.
Yeah, even if you make it up there in time, by the time you make it up there, they're starting to disappear. So yeah,
and it is they are already starting to blink out by even if you do it flawlessly.
Yeah,
it's just.
I found that basically I had to do the reverse, the reverse flip to start off the wall jump, and that gave me enough height to get up there before they disappeared.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
No, it's so frustrating. Again, that's one of the ones that I didn't get in for the playthrough for this show because, again, I'm a grown man and I only have so much time in my life. I wanted to get back to playing. Currently, it is Darkest Dungeon. I don't know if you.
Oh, cool! Yeah, I have that. Yeah.
Playing it for the first time now, and I know it's been out for 5 years, but I just started playing it now. Love it.
Yeah.
Oh, and we haven't talked about the Ghost World yet, really. I do want to mention that one.
I like that one. I think I don't normally like ghost houses in Mario games that much.
Same.
It kind of depends. I kind of find them annoying a little bit sometimes, but I like this one. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, no, that one was very fun.
It's another one like Cody was talking about where you're all over.
Yes, very much.
Which I prefer.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because like first coin or the first star is all on the ground floor, and the second star is like in the basement. Third star is on the second floor. Fourth star, you need invisible woman cap, and so on and so forth.
You fight a giant boo too, I think, in this area.
Yep, I fight a giant boo like 3 or 4 times.
It was cool. I like
it.
I've never played much of this world before. Like I think I might have known it existed, but I didn't remember it. But I never got far when I played this as a kid.
This is the first place of the giant eyeballs, also, which I thought was a fun little
running
creature.
around them. Yeah.
I showed my son that. I was like, "Watch this," and I ran in circles around it, and it.
It's a unique level. I mean, because I agree with like what Kerry said. I really don't like ghost houses usually, but this was kind of fun.
Yeah, I liked it in this one.
And then we still haven't mentioned Chomps Fortress yet, which is the second, kind of like the second world in the game. That one is.
I actually really like that one. I mean, it's
small.
It does have a little bit of that tower effect where you have to go up. But what saves that for me, unlike a place like Tall Mountain, is that owl. If you know that the owl's there, it makes the level a lot easier to pull off. And also home to a star that is incredibly tough to figure out how to get if you don't have the guide, which is to fire yourself out of a cannon at the corner of a wall, and then it'll just like blow up, and there's a star back there. Like I don't know how.
I think the clue tells you that where that it's there, right?
Hang on, let me take a look at.
And the name of it, something like breaking the mountain or something like that.
I don't even think it does.
There's something about the corner or something I want to say in the title.
It's called Blast Away the Wall.
Yeah, Blast Away the Wall.
It's like, how would you know which wall it was or what you were supposed to do if you're thinking about it? Yeah,
I felt like there's only really like one. Yeah, I definitely fired several times before I hit it. Though.
Yeah, just trying to figure out what it was. So that's.
I like the cannons too. By the way, that's a neat mechanic.
Oh yeah, that's really fun. And I also like that it doesn't do automatic damage if you get it wrong. Which
you don't take damage from hitting things.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that noise that he makes as he's coming back down that whoa, like just as he's about to hit the ground. I mean,
I like the cannon with the wing cap too.
Oh yeah, and then he dips back up, does like woohoo wee.
That's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Dude, Charles Martinet fucking nails it for this game.
Yeah,
he does. And that's all he does. Like I went and saw him once in a convention. I have a signed poster by him. And he just when you meet him, he just does the poses with you and does the Mario voices constantly for every person.
He seems like a wonderful dude. Like he seems to have so much fun.
He seems really nice.
Interview. Yeah, he seems like a nice guy.
Yeah.
And
this is his second game.
Oh yeah,
because Mario teaches typing.
Oh,
he's the voice of Mario teaches typing, I believe.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I thought I knew he was at some kind of a trade show or something because I've seen the footage of I don't know, like E3 or Space World or whatever, where they had the interactive Mario head.
Yeah.
That would come up later as the opening title to this. Put a pin in that, but
yeah,
where it's like he must have been standing off of the stage somewhere and just speaking in like a microphone for who knows how long. Just going, hey, what's your name? Oh, hi, Billy. Fuck you, Billy. Your cousin or your dad doesn't work with us, or whatever the fuck you were saying. But that Mario head itself too, because I wanted to circle back. The start menu to this is really, we're like
I used to as a kid, as a teen, I would just sometimes boot it up and just play with his face for a little bit.
Yeah, and just make the most grotesque, mule-eared, pull the hair, the hat down over his eyes, or pull it straight up, bring his nose down, just make the most hideous Mario that you possibly could. Let the button go, let it boing back.
Or,
we were much easier to entertain back
then. Spin it around a bunch of times and he gets dizzy.
Oh, I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah, you can spin it, and he's like, whoa.
How do I keep learning things about this game?
Because it's a tricky game.
It's a tech showcase. It was just it was just something look what we could do. This is to start you off with this game.
Yeah.
Look at this crazy thing you can do.
There is a lot to the game, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the fact that levels change, like there's a sub in one level,
Yes.
and then it goes away after you beat Bowser, I think.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which, thankfully, you have to beat the first level to unlock the second Bowser fight, otherwise you'd never get that first star.
Oh, right.
And then if you swim through that, it brings you out to the moat, which raises even more questions than it answers.
Yeah.
Like, where did that submarine go?
Up the waterfall.
And I have tried to climb that waterfall so many times.
Yeah. Same.
I think all of us did.
Yeah.
Again, it's another level I never knew existed till this playthrough.
Dire Doc.
Yeah, I think it's just hilarious. It was just weird to me, like, to go through this game and be like, oh, this is all brand new to me, even though I played this game as a kid off and on. And, I watched enough videos on YouTube and stuff, and I wasn't aware of the majority of this game. And that was kind of interesting.
See, and I'm kind of jealous of that, assuming that you actually had fun. This is...
off and on. This game pissed me off a lot.
Because that's got to be something weird after going back and playing everything else for the last 30 years. I mean, well, hell, we're getting on 25, 30 years since this game. That's got to be such a weird feeling going back, playing through this, having not finished it, and not having that same level of nostalgia for it.
I have no nostalgic for it. Like, I played it, but I never liked it. It wasn't one of my games. It was just something that I would play off and on because people had it. I never liked it.
That is such a fascinating thing to think that somebody...
It's weird. As a guy who's been involved in games, like...
Yeah, I was going to say, this is
so much of my life.
That's me with Sonic. Because I never I actually, in spite of the fact that I, like, collect and fix and modify video game consoles and all that stuff, I've never played a Sega Genesis outside of, like, a store kiosk.
Wow.
Ever.
Huh.
So, like, I've emulated, I've bought, like, I've now bought the Sonic Sega Genesis collection twice to convince myself, because I'm like, no. If I actually sit down and do it, I will like Sonic the Hedgehog games. And man, I fucking hate Sonic the Hedgehog. The only time I've ever liked Sonic the Hedgehog was the first one for the Dreamcast.
Yeah, it was fun.
When I worked at Target when that came out, and I would stand there whenever I could get a chance, and I'd play it while I was supposed to be working. And so I think that was partly why I liked it too, because I bought it on Steam recently, and I did not enjoy it. But 2D Sonic, I've never enjoyed 2D Sonic. I don't get it.
My son is 5, and he's seen, like, he just got really into the Sonic movie.
Oh yeah.
And there was this whole thing. His friends play like Sonic. I mean, not play the game, but like just pretend that they are Sonic and Knuckles and Tails and Shadow at school. And he comes home to me and he's like, yeah, I was Sonic at school, and like Knuckles was a bad guy and then he was a good guy. And then, like, he's telling me this whole thing. And I'm like, we can play the video game. And he's like, they made a video game about the Sonic movie? I'm like, oh my God. Son.
That's cool.
I own Sonic the Hedgehog 1, 2, and 3 probably on 5 different systems.
Yeah.
And I have never finished any of them. So let's buckle in and start playing them.
They're good games. They're hard to sell though. So
that's just, there's probably an entire generation of kids that, are around that age who have no idea that Sonic is a video game.
That's hilarious.
That's funny.
It is such a weird concept to me to, like, think about it.
Well, they haven't done much good stuff with the brand in a long time.
What? How? Oh, you think I was going to piss off people with getting Super Mario stuff wrong? Just try telling the internet that Sonic has done any wrong whatsoever. Oh, thank you, Mike. You are going to take so much heat off of me.
Oh, I mean, I've covered Sonic Adventure 2. A bunch of people love the episode, but I'm sure I played Channel the Hedgehog. Oh, don't play that garbage, by the way.
I do have it on good authority that at some point Mario and Sonic did meet at some sort of Olympic Games.
I've never played them yet.
I have no idea what that's about, but I love that in the 90s, that was the biggest thing ever, Mario versus Sonic. They finally face each other head to head for the first time. Was it in Smash Brothers? No, it was fucking curling. What?
But I do like that. One thing I do like about this game is that you don't have to get all the stars. Like, you only have to get so many, which is really, like, you need, like we said, 70 to beat the game. 120 are available. and you need, I think, 30 to unlock the basement, and then like 50 to unlock the second to lock the upstairs.
Mm-hmm. And then 70 to get up to Bowser.
Yeah, which isn't
the last time. Okay,
honestly that bad.
So I've kind of been looking back at it, like as somebody that went back through it, got 118, and then on this last time, I got 50 stars, and that's how I beat Bowser. Backwards long jump. But anyway, the best, like one thing that I found with this is about 25 of those stars are gimmies. They're very easy to get.
Yeah.
And they're fast.
It's either like Toad gives them away, or it's the basic slide one where you don't have to go fast. But there's about 25 of those. Then about another 15 are about as easy as you can get without being a gimme, which brings you up to about 40 or so, which really leaves you to your last 30 of fully half of what's left to kind of pick and choose what you want to do. So if you're not good at swimming, you might be better at jumping. If you're not good at jumping, you might be better at finding like hidden things. And you can kind of pick and choose and find your way, kind of how to get those last handful of stars to get up to that final fight and then just make it there. But it still offers just an entire, almost other games worth of challenge if you want to be like your Kerry here and just fully 100% get this game and get 99 lives that do not matter. And I think that is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, because you can fully beat the game and still be having fun with it and go back and get what you missed, or not and go back and play Iggy's Wrecking Balls. Whatever you're feeling.
What you're talking about.
And that is interesting, and that is one of the ways that it's better than Mario Sunshine. Where Mario Sunshine, you can't just pick and choose. You have to get 7 stars in each of the levels.
And
or 7 shines in each level.
Yeah, you have to always finish the last one.
And unfortunately, this is where Banjo gets it wrong, which I know is blasphemous coming out of my mouth. I think you can get I think you can miss like 8 or 10, what was it again? I'm fairly Jiggies, yes, perfect.
I mean, there's multiple things in Banjo. There's jiggies, there's music notes, there's
the jiggies,
Mumbo Jumbo Skulls.
Yeah. You would need, but I mean, you can miss. I think like it's all but like 8 to actually get to the final boss. And if you want to have any kind of chance, you have to get all but 2 in that game, and that is a razor thin margin for any.
And that's out of like 100 something.
Out of 100 of them.
Yeah, it's
so
it's hard.
It's brutal towards the very end of it.
Yeah,
whereas
I've never gotten that far.
Oh, I've 100%ed that game probably 10 times. I play through it once a year, usually in the fall, and I can finish it fully in one day because I've just played it so much.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. I beat it once for the show, episode 8 or 9, and
it's just because that was my one game for a very long time, so I can just flip through it, and it's my gaming comfort food. So like once a year, usually around Thanksgiving, I will throw it back in, and at some point I'll be like, you know what? It's Banjo weekend, and then I'll start on like Sunday at 8:30 in the morning, and I'll finish it at about 4:35 p.m. just as that late fall sun is going down, and it just makes me feel right. I love it.
Yeah, that's the original Legend of Zelda for me for the NES. That's my that's my like once a year. I'm just gonna play through this because for the last like 20 something years. So.
But that's a good game compared to what he's talking about.
How dare you, Mike?
I don't like that.
How dare you? That's it. I'm not doing Dead Space 3 then.
That's also a good game.
Also a bad game.
Well, some people don't like it. I don't know. I didn't have a good time with that, but I don't like 64.
We'll find out.
I don't like 64 in general. Like, I'm not into that style. That's a big thing with me.
I totally get it. If I wasn't there in that moment and I didn't have that exact right place, right time kind of thing, I love that, just that vibe, that I don't even know how to say it. It looks janky. It controls terribly, and I absolutely love it.
Well, it's nostalgic.
Yeah,
muscle
exactly.
memory.
It's one of
all
those things
that.
where I feel like the Nintendo 64, I don't think it's a very good system. I think it's kind of a bad
it's
system.
not. Oh, it's
but it has
it's
so
not.
many really good games.
Yeah.
It really does.
It has like 15 to 20 like absolute like amazingly good games, and I feel like almost in spite of itself. Like
Very much so. And
Yeah.
anyone who owned that played all 10 of those games.
exactly. Like
Yeah, GoldenEye. Majora's Mask.
I
Ocarina of
want to
Time.
say 10, and I
Mhm.
tried to think through it one time, and I counted off like 18, and we're like, these are all like legitimately good games.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a
It
ton,
also-
but yeah.
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 There's also not good stuff. But
Oh no, they have some terrible games. Like oh my God. I think everybody talks about Superman 64. The
Yeah.
worst game I think maybe ever made. If you ever have wondered what it's like to have a seizure, there's a game called it's like Beast Wars Transmetal
oh yeah,
something. Dude, it like the
it
camera.
was a
do it-
blockbuster exclusive.
It was. I own that, and it's worth like way too much money. It is impossible to play for how much it physically hurts you. Your eyes will bleed playing this game.
Shout out to the Ultra 64 podcast. Where you were on an episode of that, right? A couple.
Allegedly, I have no idea what you're talking about. I was never on that game.
Okay.
I was never on a deleted episode of that. You can't prove it. That I did not get doxxed after being on that podcast.
Oh my
And-
god.
No, I just said that I was not. That did not happen.
Oh, that's good to know you. That
Exactly.
Didn't
I
Um,
pushed when we're
so
done
that-
recording, by the way.
So that officially does not exist.
happen. You know, it's a 64 game like underrated that I really liked was NFL Blitz for the 64.
Oh, it's great. Oh,
That was like a
arcade
great-
football.
Great.
And I'm not
port
even a big
of that
sports
game.
fan. That is
Yeah, same. I don't really like sports, but I like me some like arcade sports, NBA Jam, NFL Blitz, so on. But yeah, like that, and Gauntlet Legends was a really good.
That was a good
really
game.
a good arcade port for the N64 or arcade. I mean, it's a port. Yeah, that was a good one. That was another one where me and my friends kind of worked together to unlock every single thing in that game, all the different characters and stuff. But then you got stuff like Quest 64, which is god awful RPG. Thankfully, though, I didn't buy any bad. I bought some bad games. I bought or got my parents to buy some bad games for the NES. God, Werewolf and some other stuff. Some really not good games. But for the 64, like every game I got for it was a banger. They were every game I got for this. I only had a handful, but they were all excellent games. But yeah.
Okay. Any last? I mean, I think we covered all the worlds. I mean, and then the ending is just you rescue Princess Peach. I mean,
She makes you a cake. She makes you that cake she promised.
the cake is a lie.
Yeah, she bakes you that cake she promised, and that's not a metaphor for anything.
Oh no, of course not.
You know what is also missing? Luigi. No Luigi
Yeah.
in this game.
Where he's not even mentioned except in
He
that
should have been on the
statue
roof.
that is totally real and not
Yeah.
an urban legend, and not just you looking at shape and imagining that it does say what is that? L is real 2040 or whatever bullshit they made
I
up.
have no
Yeah.
idea.
That was early internet.
Yeah, that was message board internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When in reality it was probably just gibberish because the people who made that game were writing in kanji
Yeah.
and probably
Have you guys
English
played
in mind at all.
have y'all played the DS port of this?
I
Where you can
did
play as what? Wario,
and
Yoshi, and Luigi, is that it?
yeah. Yes.
And Mario, of course. Yeah, I have that. I haven't actually played it.
I played it when it probably 15 years ago. I haven't played it since.
Do
so-
any of the characters play differently than Mario, or is it just
yeah, they all have like certain slightly tweaked things to it.
interesting?
But I would need to play it again before I would need, because I had bought my sister a DS as a Christmas present, probably in 2006, 2007.
Yeah.
And I bought her that game and one or two others, but I bought it at a GameStop used. So, of course, before I gave it to her, I was going to play it. I mean, come on, man.
Nice.
So I played it then, and I played it between midnight and 6 a.m. because I was a late night radio disc jockey. So anything that...
I did that in college too.
Oh, right on, man.
Yeah.
You didn't get to meet Taylor Swift.
You did not get to meet...
No,
That's
I
a
did
whole
not.
story. I will tell that. I feel like Mike just wants me to talk about Taylor Swift every time.
No, we already got those stories, but I am jealous of New York story. I've never been to New York in general, but fuck that.
I was just on college radio. It's not that we weren't Taylor Swift level. I think one of the Riddlin kids gave me a CD.
Oh, nice. No, but like I was late night to an audience of shift workers, people working in the hospital, and of course, let's say crackheads at the local gas stations. But they would hear my dulcet tones every single night and be like, all right, welcome to Late Night with Jack Jones, 94.7 Kixie FM, 94.7. We got, you can go ahead and call me, 949-9470. Don't actually call that number now. You will not reach me. You'll reach somebody else entirely. You won't hear my voice. But between me doing that, I was playing Mario 64 DS because there was nothing else. I was probably playing Trapped Headstrong and Coldplay and Nickelback. It was sad music. This was like 2006. Like there was a lot of sad boy music.
I was about the same time. I went to grad school at Texas State. I was at A&M for college, and the K 97.6, the KANM, the college station of College Station.
Oh, so, right on.
I had a punk show from 1 to 3 a.m.
Right on.
But
that's pretty rad.
Yeah, but I bought a Mario 64 DS on the Wii U eShop.
Oh, I forgot that was the virtual
thing. Well, it kind of still is, sort of. You can't add money, but until I think the end of this month, you can use gift cards. But then it's just dead after I think September. So
yeah, it's almost done.
Yeah, right, but right before they stopped letting you add money to your account, I went and threw like $70 at Nintendo buying a bunch of crap that no reason. But
I have other ways that I'm going to play because someday I am going to do Super Mario 64 DS on this show someday.
I don't know if you get an entire show out of that.
I'm going to try. Well, I never played it.
Mini-sode.
Yeah, that might. Yeah, that's probably what it would be. We'll see.
But just have me on there, and I will talk about
Taylor Swift.
For Taylor Swift,
bro, I'm all on board for that.
And let's say like shark dicks because they have two penises.
We did cat dicks last time on Tomb Raider. Shadow, we'll talk about it.
So I will save shark dicks for that. Then I can explain why they have.
All right. Any last things to say, or should we go to questions, comments, and memories? I have a few, more than a few, but
I probably have some stuff, but I forget.
Okay, I blame whiskey.
Hey, I also love to blame whiskey for that.
All right, and I watched the entire Orbital replay group. I got a lot. I'm not going to be all.
I love that group is still a thing. Like that's where you started.
That's where I met the original. All the people who co-hosts of the show I met from there. Even though I'd only talked to one of them. Still, I talked to Mike again. Still, but that's no one else from the original cast. Anyone that was like on the show for a long period of time. They haven't talked to them in a while.
But that's still funny that group is going, and it's a meme group.
Mm-hmm. And the funny thing, they still haven't kicked me. Like they've said, I'm kind of like I think I'm the most successful podcast that's amateur that's from that group because there are a lot of podcasts that started with that group from that group. That's the people that, but at least I'm one of the more well-known amateur ones.
Yeah.
So
right on.
Right, from William Izari, arguably one of the most influential games of all time, which is especially wild considering this franchise a few games on that list. Most 3D platformers are essentially just iterations on this game. I'm surprised the term collectathon took off when they are pretty much Mario-likes.
Now that's kind of an astute point to make, is you would think that like Doom-likes and roguelikes and everything else, which is funny because like I think for like 5 years, first-person shooters were just called Doom clones.
Yeah.
Even though Wolfenstein was first, but
Doom made
that
it
is. Yeah, that is funny that it was never like Mario-like.
Well, Mario-like wouldn't work because you already have, other games before it that are also incredibly foundational.
Yeah.
This is why you had us on, or this is why you're on the podcast. Because you're sober and you're making a whole lot of sense.
I'm like, sober.
Is it like Mario 1? Is it like Mario World? Is it like Mario teaches typing? Is it like
Mario's Time Machine? Mario's missing.
Which is technically a Luigi game.
Yes, it's actually not that bad.
Which is a Carmen Sandiego like.
All right, from Greg Fairchild. I was a PlayStation kid growing up, but whenever I went to a friend's house who had an N64, they all had this game, and all I ever wanted to do was play it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and from Hunter Ginn, even if you don't love the game, you have to acknowledge the impressive speedruns and what's just done for that community. Right.
Sure.
Yeah, Mario 64 speedruns are fun to watch.
Yeah,
they are so much fun to watch.
I've been watching one while we're talking, for the most part.
That's impressive.
I do it all the time with episodes. Yeah. I put on something so that way I see stuff and I go, oh yeah, I should mention that. From Autumn Sevier, my main memories consist of jumping around doing flippy stuff a lot because I like the wahoo, being scared of that eel and not being the game because the penguin slide thing. Still, it was pretty cool at the time. Okay. From Randolph Sparks, when I was a dumb child, it took me weeks to figure out I had to throw Bowser by the tail to beat him. Okay, here's a good one. Dialogue. From Lucas Adams, the Boo Haunted House is genuinely scary. The piano scared the life out of me. Here's a question. From Michael Hughes, friend of the show. Camera equals butt. And he said Mario 64 or Banjo-Kazooie. Which game has the better hub world?
Banjo-Kazooie, yo. Because it's like, okay, so Peach has a nice, pretty castle with like 3 stories and like a front area. Look, Gruntilda's lair is in a whole ass. It's a giant, spooky,
final part,
decrepit mansion. Like there are whole worlds locked within the actual. Like, okay, so when you come up on any individual level, let's say you're going to Clanker's Cavern, everything's going to be rusty and drippy and gross. And when you go to Treasure Trove Cove, there's going to be sand around the actual treasure chest that opens up to reveal the level itself. If you go to the Bubble Gloop Swamp Hut, there's going to be a swamp full of piranhas around it. Mario doesn't do any of that. That's a painting on the wall. Kiss my dick, all right? Banjo-Kazooie has the hands-down best hub world of probably any piece of media ever. Fight me.
Okay, those are strong words. I can think of another better game, but not off the top of my head, so we'll just go with it. All from Nick Turner. Oh, and then from the official Age of Time community, where I met these 2 wonderful gentlemen. Nick Turner. This was the game that they wheeled into my room when I was at the hospital after being set on fire as a kid. I had already played it a bunch, but had only done the minimum to beat it before. Being stuck in a bed for a couple days gave me enough time to get my star count at least into the 110s, although I don't remember exactly how much I finished with. Wow. You see, I don't read these before I just start reading them on the air, and that was not what I expected when I started reading that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that took a drastic turn.
I read that when he posted it, and I was like, oh, wow.
Love you, man. Dude, that is incredible.
Because you're posting on Facebook, so I assume, and the fact that you played this game probably, I'm assuming back when it came out, I'm hoping you're okay. Man, I would never want to be burnt. I would never want to be on fire. No.
That seems unpleasant.
Yeah,
that seems more unpleasant than getting stung by bees being on fire.
Well, yeah, no, I would definitely be stung by more bees before I would. Nick, you are a bad motherfucker.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I once had a friend get lit on fire, and then he ran around in a circle until someone tackled him. I wasn't there, but I heard about the story.
Did that do anything for the fire, or was that other guy just mad about the fire?
I'm not sure how. I think he lit his coat on fire because they were doing stupid shit because they were like, teenagers, and then his friend tackled him to the ground because he wouldn't jump on the ground.
Yeah, story checks out.
Yeah. He wouldn't stop, drop, and roll. Then it was run around in a circle and scream. If he's listening to this episode, used to, he'll know what I'm talking about. From Chris Dobson, friend of the show. It's definitely hard to separate myself from the nostalgic for this one. I turned 12 on October 1st, 1996, and for my birthday, my family went to visit my grandparents an hour outside Orlando for the week. After spending a day at Disney World, we came back to my grandparents' house, and my grandpa had bought a 64 and Mario. So I spent most of the next week at their house playing through. It was pretty much that life will never be better than this meme that was going around a few weeks ago.
Okay, so in that same vein, one of the cruel things about my childhood is that my family is scattered all around the United States of America. And when you're a kid, you ask for a video game for Christmas, right? So there's never a worse feeling than waking up on Christmas morning, getting a new copy of Rogue Squadron, being so excited to play it, playing it on Christmas morning, and then having to drive from Tennessee to Louisiana and leaving your N64 at home because you have to spend a week with your grandparents for Christmas. That is cruel and unusual punishment. And I am suing my parents for this, and I will not hear otherwise.
I remember Ocarina of Time came out on a Friday or a Saturday. and we had to. And I was wanting to go into Walmart and get it that morning so I could get it, but we had to go to the deer lease, and so we're in the middle of West Texas or Central Hill Country, and we stop at a Walmart in a small town at
Which
5
city?
o'clock in the morning. Oh gosh, our lease was out near kind of like outside Georgetown.
Oh my God! I used to live in Georgetown, dude.
Yeah, it was kind of like up past Georgetown.
Up by
Kinda-
like Andice or Liberty Hill.
Kind of like
We're getting ultra
we're
specific.
like the LBJ.
That's fine.
You know where the LBJ Ranch is?
I got Texas
Yes!
listeners.
Oh my
yeah,
God,
kind of near there. Kind of
Oh my
near there.
God.
We used to sometimes go there on the way back.
I know
But
exactly.
so we stop at this Walmart in the middle of nowhere at like 5 o'clock in the morning to get some stuff. And I'm like, can I go to electronics? And I go to electronics and I get the guy to open up and I get Ocarina of Time. And I, with my allowance or with my money I've saved up for mowing lawns and stuff, and I get Ocarina of Time. And then I spend the rest of the weekend reading the manual over and over again, waiting to get back from the deer lease so I can play.
In that deer lease.
Sunday
Oh
night.
my God, dude. I spent so much time at the deer lease as a boy.
Where are
I
the
got-
deer lease?
What's that?
Where are the deer lease?
Like
What is
okay.
it?
Yeah.
It's land you rent to hunt on
Okay.
usually from like ranchers and stuff. That
Okay.
own-
I couldn't
own
hunt.
land.
So, all right.
So I got good at shooting deer. I got so good at it, so where I would shoot a buck on Saturday morning just so I wouldn't have to fucking do it the rest of the weekend.
And see,
I
this
got-
is about the time that I started being like, I don't want to kill animals anymore. So
I
I'd
got
just go to the deer lease and I'd have to sit at the camp
Mhm.
and do nothing.
watch one of the 3 VHSs that somebody left there.
Oh, we didn't have electricity.
Oh yeah, no,
Oh.
okay. Ours was most places.
Well, we did
that
have a camp
went-
house at one of the places we
Right.
had. We moved to we moved around. We're like 7 different leases, but
Yeah, no, we
Nice.
definitely did a lot of different leases. I know one of them didn't have power one season. I got
This is
real.
a Texas thing? Deer
Yeah,
lease?
This is a southern thing. I think.
Oh, okay, 'cause I've never heard of
it's
it.
a hunting. I mean, it's a hunting.
Hunt,
I don't
yeah,
hunt, so
I'm
that-
and I'm
Yeah,
and I'm
if you don't
sure-
hunt, then you don't do it. My wife, I'm always like telling her, I'm sorry I spend so much money on video games. She's like, well, no, it's fine, because it's like your cousins and stuff, how much money they spend on deer lease and all that kind of stuff is way cheaper.
going out to rural Mississippi or northern,
I hate killing
like
things.
Louisiana.
And it's every weekend.
Oh
from
yeah, from like
November to through December, right?
Well, really depending. I mean, on how good you are at it. Again, I got to where I got really good at
Killing deer.
just so
Oh,
I
yeah.
could, just so I wouldn't have to.
because you can only have so many per year. So
I mean, you've seen this buck that's on my wall right there. I
I see part of a buck and then the camera went away. I like them better when
There
they're
you go.
alive, though.
yeah, me too. Me too.
But God, they are pretty animals.
My son, he's such an animal lover. He wants your job someday, Cody. I show him pictures of you and your job, but he doesn't have the heart to harm an animal ever. So like he finds out about me hunting and stuff. Oh, we lost your audio. Oh,
Still no audio, Cody.
We can't hear you, Cody.
Check
No.
when you move the camera, it might unhook something.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I'll read more comments while he's figuring out.
Yeah, read another comment for us.
So I got a few more from this group. From Adam Kessel, one of the greatest games of all time. Okay. From Deandra Alessio, I have fond memories of waking up early in the morning and taking turns with my sisters to play it before the school bus came. Even today, I'm impressed with the graphics and the soundtrack. And last question from this group, from Joseph Story. It's kind of nuts going back to play this and seeing how Nintendo absolutely nailed Mario's movement. The platform was so good, running, jumping, and flipping all over the place. Looking at some of the later levels now, though, I would not have the patience for that BS. I was all about back in the day.
Yeah, I think that's totally true. Like the actual platforming mechanics of this game feel just absolutely wonderful. They feel almost as good as like playing like Mario Odyssey now. It's the camera and some of the level design that are frustrating.
And then
the
y'all
problem.
can hear me, all right?
Yes.
We can hear you
Yeah.
now.
Okay. Well, then, no, absolutely. The aesthetics of it, the way that it's set up is almost flawless. It's the camera that just kind of kills it.
Yeah. And especially if you're playing it with like a modern controller, you will just instinctively want to use that right joystick.
Doesn't do
And
anything.
it does not work the way you want it to work.
No.
No.
And so many times Mario is having to face you while he's like walking down a very thin
Oh, yeah.
platform. And that is so frustrating.
And then the camera, or one of the ones that really got me was on the lava level, trying to, because I just wanted to collect the free men. And there's one that's behind a pillar, and you're going straight at it on the turtle shell. And as soon as you get to the pillar, the camera flips, you just turn off and you miss it over and over. Drove me crazy.
Which was a common issue with the N64 for a lot of games.
Yeah.
Which if you go back and you play a game like Vigilante 8 was really bad, especially the second one. Oh, I forgot that you played that game. The camera on that's atrocious, isn't it, Mike?
I haven't played a Vigilante 8 since I was like a kid.
Oh, okay. I thought you had played it for the podcast.
No, thankfully nobody forced me to play it yet. Vigilante
8. You heard it first. Episode 205. We're gonna be playing Vigilante 8, and I'm no.
Yeah, I don't.
We're not gonna do that.
I mean, I could do it someday, but I'm in no hurry.
There's so many better video games to play, but like there's a lot of games where the camera will just absolutely get a mind of its own and just spin you the fuck around. So it's amazing that Mario managed to keep it as tame as it is, which is saying a lot, because a lot of times it acts up.
All right, I have one last group to read from the Nintendo 64 Super Group. First one from Thomas Barb. Did you meet Yoshi? No, I never will. Never will.
Yep.
I did meet her, but not on this one. Yoshi is a girl, confirmed.
I'm going to read a part of this comment because it's long, but it's good. From Brian Schutz. So I was 12 when the system and 2 launch games came out. My uncle bought the system and games on day 1 and brought me over to play.
Ooh.
These are things that stood out most from what I remember as a 12-year-old. He has 5 different things, but I'm going to read the first one. The graphics, insane at the time. I remember my uncle and I just watching Mario stand there, and you could see him breathing. Moving the camera around, I had never seen anything like it. That is cool.
Yeah. No, it was definitely a mind-blowing thing. As I mentioned like 2 hours ago, this was a core memory. Is just seeing that for the first time. It just sticks with you.
Is it bad when you said core memory? The first thing that popped in my head was Assassin's Creed for some reason.
Really?
The first thing that came in my head.
Mine was Inside Out when I thought of a core memory.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like that movie. That movie made me sad.
Yeah, that's the point, Mike.
I love that movie. That movie made me cry, but in a good way.
It's okay.
Well, my son doesn't live with me, and that movie hit me harder because of that.
It's literally okay to be sad at a movie. That's what the whole movie was about.
I know, but it made me sad thinking about my son that's not with me because he lives somewhere else, and I'm like, I don't like this movie. But I only seen it once. From Brock Power, I got to 108 stars and lended it to someone instead of picking one of the 3 other empty saves. They used mine to get to 120 stars.
Oh, no.
I was gutted when I got it back. Worst thing was not knowing which starts I hadn't got yet. I've been too burned to go back and start from scratch ever since.
Oh, no.
Sad.
Okay. As a child, I traded games for both Mission Impossible and Automobile Lamborghini, which are not good games, but they are rare, Billy. They are rare. They're worth a lot more money than the games that I traded you for. Okay, like Madden was a better game. Okay, Madden 99 and 2000 were better games, and they were technically newer at that time. But my collection's worth more money, and you're just a but that is actually true. I've been burned on those bad games.
I want to play Mission Impossible for this show, that 64 game.
I would play it with you. I would probably complain about it the whole time.
That's what I'm going to probably do too. Because a good friend of mine who's been on the show many times, Peter, he had a Mission Impossible game when we were kids, and I remember him showing it to me. And when I told him I want to do it for the show, he just laughed and said, "Have fun."
Yeah.
You should also hate it. I mean, it's certainly a game. You will be frustrated.
Well, I'll be cheating multiple ways, guides, save states. So,
fair.
One day.
One of
those random things. And I have 2 last comments to read. First from Eric G, my top favorite N64 game of 1996. And last one from Michael Delden. I'll always think of this game and love it, man. Such great memories and nostalgic. I was born in 93. This game will always be in my top right next to GoldenEye.
Well, he said that the one prior to that, it was one of his top games or his top
N64
N64 games of
96.
1996, which means it was going up against what, 4 other games?
It's like Wave Race,
Pilot Wings. Yes, it was
Pilot
technically
Wings,
better than
and Empires and
Shadows of the Empire
Ooh.
and Wave Race.
I think I like Shadow of the Empire better than this game, though. And that's a broken game at times, but I like that game a lot.
And you played that because I did an audio for that.
I like Shadows of the Empire. It's a good game.
Yeah,
I think you were like the only person I ever did that for, too.
Yeah, you were literally, because I just had the perfect dumb joke where I'm like, that game made me feel very dumb. Like that's too good to pass up.
Too good to pass up.
It's too good to pass up.
Plus, I just didn't. It was extra work, and I didn't want extra work with editing, so never did it again.
I think I bring up
expertly edited podcasts. What are you talking about?
I'm good at it now, to be honest. I'm actually pretty good at editing, but the amount that I record and edit is insane for a guy that makes $1 a month. So
especially with all of the nonsense with any podcast I will ever put, like anything that I ever show up on, I get so off in the fucking weeds.
That's fine. I leave it all on.
I have no apologies because you leave it all on.
I mean, that's what people listen to a show because of the audience, or not audience, because of the host. I mean, that's what. This show,
it's a conversation. Anybody?
Yeah, it's all rotating guests, but I have a lot of the same people that come on different topics, and it's just kind of the thing. So.
And anybody listening to this, they probably know a fair bit about this game. At least I would hope so.
Yeah, I mean this isn't an obscure title. Like, I'm playing an obscure title in a couple of weeks because of another Laser Reno guy, Vincent. I'm playing iNinja.
Oh, Vincent, I love Vincent. He lives down the road from us too.
Yeah, you guys are all in Texas.
I built a Game Boy Advance for Vincent.
He's a good guy.
Can I also give this seems like a good point to bring it. Kerry here, shout out to him. If it wasn't for him, I would not be on this podcast right now because he helped me build the PC that I am recording this on.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, dude. We fucking video chatted and stuff
that's awesome.
I had the whole side open to it, and I'm like putting wires, much like the aforementioned Mission Impossible. Trying to figure out how to put stuff together, and Kerry
someday
right through it.
I'm going to go to Dallas or Austin, and I will someday. I need to visit Texas.
We'll meet up. Yeah.
Oh, we will for sure. A bunch of people in Texas I want to meet. Well, I almost went to Texas once. I had plane tickets to go to Texas in 2020 in March, and for work, and it was I think in Dallas. It was wherever the FedEx headquarters are, but I don't think I think they're near Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
And my goal was to go to class or go to the training, and then as soon as the training was done, catch a Uber, however, and get to where Kennedy was shot because I wanted to see that spot because I love history.
Oh yeah,
and that day changed history in my opinion.
Absolutely.
A lot, at least American history.
Yeah, the sixth floor museum at Daily Plaza. Yeah, been there.
I really like.
Yep.
I want to see that.
And they have the spot on the road where that's exactly where he was shot. Yeah,
that's where he shot. I still don't believe that shot came from that building. But hey,
that's a whole other podcast. Give me like 2 more shots of this whiskey. Hang on.
Yeah, I don't want to keep going that long, but yeah, I'm one of those people that I'm like, I'm pretty sure he wasn't shot from that building, but hey,
I have a lot of thoughts on that.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're talking to a history teacher here, so I get into it.
I know. Oh, and we should go to Shelf Stacker Box. And Cody, why don't you go first?
Games are all right, I guess. I mean, I guess I could. No, it's a fucking shelf. Are you kidding me? It's amazing. This is like one of the best ones ever made. Camera aside, it's really one of the most influential games ever made. The aesthetic is beautiful, even for this time. I am an N64 nut, but no, I love the way that it's set up. There's so many little things I could nerd out, and I could talk about how Bob-omb Battlefield is one of the best opening levels ever made for a video game ever. I could talk about how it's perfect, how that the first key that you get does not work in the door next to where you get it, and it makes you explore more. Like this has been done a million billion times. Go to somebody else's thing and look for it. It's incredibly well put together, and they nailed it the first fucking time out of the gate. It's amazing. This is like me being a film guy and trying to, like, a film podcaster and saying, hey, have you guys ever seen Casablanca? Have you ever seen Citizen Kane and The Godfather? Yeah, of course. All of us know those are the best movies ever made. And it's overdone, but they are called the greatest things ever made for a reason. Super Mario, 64. Believe that hype, except for the camera. It's so great. It goes up on the highest point on my shelf next to that Street Shark right there.
Okay. What about you, Kerry?
Yeah, Shelf. I mean, it's a masterpiece. It's one of the best games ever made, for sure. I mean, definitely I've got other games I like more, but yeah, I'll be playing it again probably within the next year.
Okay.
Leaving it installed, the HD version installed on the computer.
All right. I'm going to put this in the box. I did not have fun.
Not even in the stack.
No, I didn't enjoy it. Like, I mean, I beat it and I I couldn't stop playing it, but it wasn't out of joy. It was out of dedication for the show and the fact that I was terrified to start the game that comes next week. So I forced I had fun, but I never want to play this version again. It's too clunky. I didn't really enjoy it. Without save states, I would never have gotten anywhere. It was very, very difficult for me, and I have no nostalgic for it. So I made a mistake because I didn't schedule properly. I had Spyro the Dragon the week before, so I played a really fun platformer than I played this, and I would rather play Spyro. So that didn't help.
How dare you?
Well, one, I have nostalgic for Spyro because Spyro actually is a game my mom did find.
See, and I think that is the thing, is that if you didn't really grow up on it, then yeah, it's not going to be a different kind of I think if you were getting into it cold, at the age of
10.
No, what are you now?
34.
48, 49? Oh, okay.
Thankfully not that old yet.
But yeah, no, I think that when you're really playing it for the first time, really, really playing it for the first time, it's just not going to hit the same. Especially since you played the things that have come after it, that would make a lot more sense, right?
Yeah, I played Sunshine. I mean, I feel like I enjoyed Sunshine more than this, I'm pretty sure, but it just didn't do it for me.
Whereas Spyro, you played that when you were a child, and so it just
never finished it, but yeah.
It's the warm fuzzies in the same way that I am a Banjo guy. I played that game first. I love it.
Well, I think Banjo-Kazooie does play better than Mario 64.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I've only played Banjo once. I rented it in high school, but yeah, it is mechanically it's very smooth.
Really. But
the camera wasn't shitty, so. But again, It came out years later, so I get it. But.
Yeah. And then even though I did technically play Mario first, at Toys R Us, I played Banjo all the way through first, and then I played Mario all the way through the following year, I think. So that's where it, yeah. Okay. So I think that's a big part of it too. I think that if you'd played one thing first, or if you really were drawn to something first, Diddy Kong Racing is better than Mario Kart 64. Don't at me. But yeah, but
you're not wrong.
Yeah, which is true, but there's the majority of people saying that, or that have played those games, will say that Mario Kart is better because that's the one that they played because of the nostalgia. And if you don't have that, then it's just, you're going to be like you're not wrong, Mike. You've played better games, and Spyro was your game when you were a kid. So why would you be drawn?
And Spyro doesn't have a good camera. Spyro's also much easier, and it's also a much different. It's a much simpler game, and I
won't argue with any of those.
This is a very complicated platform with the amount of stuff Mario can do that I couldn't understand. Like the long jump, I can't tell you how many times I screwed up that long jump.
Any of those jumps, yeah.
I mean, without save states, I would have never gotten anywhere. Spyro, I could have probably played majority of the game without save states and still finished it. Where this, I feel I would not have gotten anywhere if I didn't cheat. And that's part. I didn't enjoy it. But I mean, it's still a good game. My opinion is just my opinion. Doesn't make the game bad. But all right, I should introduce what I'm playing next week. Next week we are talking about Hollow Knight.
Ooh.
I think I usually refer to Hollow Knight as my fourth favorite video game of all time. So
wow,
fourth or fifth, maybe fifth.
It's a fucking game, all right.
I should probably.
I love that game so much.
I had to uninstall it. I'll say the story a little bit, but I had to uninstall it today because I beat it today and I kept playing it. And I'm like, I have to stop. So I uninstalled it because I couldn't do the stuff that was left. I can't do. I'm not good enough, and the anger that was going to come out of me continuing to throw my head against the wall was like, no, Mike, you need to play the next game for the show. You're done.
Yeah, some of the optional stuff in that, that is one where to fully 100% it, it's 120%, and I gave up at 116%. 116%, I'm like, nope, I'm good. those last 4% can just stay.
I got 94, so
that's great.
I'm good with what I did. And there's again no cheating because I can't.
Yeah, no save states.
I can't cheat. I mean, it's just fucking like I could feel myself growing. But I'll be talking about that more next week for hours.
Looking forward to hearing about it. Yeah.
All right, and Kerry, where can people find you at?
Yeah, so I Twitch. I stream on Twitch, not as much as I used to, but I modify and repair video game consoles and play Dark Souls and occasionally other games on Twitch at Kerooseta, Kerooseta.
And Cody, where can people find you at?
I'm currently enjoying being somewhat of a social media hermit.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. After not getting doxxed last year after being on the Ultra 64 podcast, that did not happen. But after that happened, I did take a little bit of a step back from social media, but you can find me on TikTok as well as other social media things at Cajun Crippler. It's always one word, and it's always the same thing on any social media platform ever. I think I'm still on Foursquare or something.
You're still on YouTube, right?
Yeah. I'm still on there.
You're the only Cody Laveau on YouTube?
I'm the only Cody Laveau on YouTube.
We got to make that joke every time.
That up every single time. The one that was on that came up about the same time as me, he was a neo-Nazi, and I fucked his SEO up so bad he had to change his name, and that makes me so happy.
That's
and
wonderful.
I love it. Anytime you can ruin a Nazi's day, it just makes yours a little bit better.
Absolutely.
On that plate right there, it says always punch Nazis. Y'all, again, no one can see this, but I have like
it's not a video podcast.
I have like an old grandma like plate on my wall that says always punch Nazis right there.
That's cool though.
Yeah, well thank you very much. But yeah, so fuck that guy.
Yeah.
And but yeah, if you want to find me, the best place where I'm actually doing anything is on TikTok, weirdly. I've been making funny videos of that. Again, at Cajun Crippler. I use my real Southern voice on that, so enjoy that. A whole lot of, hi there, baby, what you got going on? You want a little bit of sauerkraut on that old hot dog right there? There's a whole lot of that, but
okay.
No, that's, making funny stuff on that. But otherwise, you can watch movies that I made on YouTube or look at really old Instagram. I haven't done that in like a year.
I don't think
Again, I've just been enjoying being a social media hermit. I'm on this. Mike and Kerry tell me that I need to start streaming soon. So if I get off my ass, hopefully I can plug that by the next podcast we do, which will be Dead Space 3 or Tomb Raider.
Dead Space 3 is next, then Shadow of the Tomb Raider. You're on.
Shadow of the Tomb Raider or another N64 game or Shadow Complex or some other really fun, cool game.
I do need to play Shadow Complex on the show.
Shadow Complex is so good.
I need to buy it, and it never goes on sale. So I never bought it yet.
I still have it on my 360. It's so great.
I do, but then I have to actually play my 360 again, and I don't want to do that.
Play it, dude. It's awesome. Shadow Complex.
I mean, great system. I got too many games for it. But.
Shadow Complex is quietly one of the best video games ever made, and I would love to talk about it with somebody. Also, like Monkey Island, if you ever do that, I'll totally do that too.
Shadow Complex is more likely.
Yeah, well, then do Shadow Complex, and I will totally be on it with you. And there's an animal in that probably somewhere, so I'll
And if you want to hear more Mario, we did Super Mario Sunshine episode 177, Super Mario Brothers 2 episode 149, Super Mario RPG episode 125, Super Mario World episode 84, Super Mario Land 1 and 2 episode 78, and Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island episode 35. We only done 6.
You spoil these people, Mike. That's like 12 hours of Mario content for apps.
No, they're not. None of them are really long episodes because there's only so much you can say about a Mario game unless you have the right people on.
There's 4 hours of Mario content for free.
So, and if you enjoyed this show, we have 350 other episodes you need to check out. More than that at this point. But definitely go look through our giant backlog. You can't find what you're looking for. Everything is on Podbean or Podcast Addict or some of the other podcatchers. If iTunes or Spotify is being mean to you, only shows you the last 100, and I publish a little too much. So go do that. And we have a Patreon if you want to help support the show. As little as $1, you can vote in the Patreon. The current poll is starting to get ready for Spooktober, and I have 4 movies on there to vote for. So go do that. For little as $1, you can go vote in our Patreon poll. It's It Chapter 1, The Lodge, The Omen, and I just published it, but I can't remember what the fuck the other one is. The Thing. That's what it is.
Pick the thing.
Oh, The Thing.
Pick the thing.
Yeah,
I'm okay with 3 of those 4. So
my 5-year-old, I just let my 5-year-old watch The Thing, and he loved it. he grew a beard after watching that movie. Watch The Thing. Watch it with Mike. Talk with him. I'm jealous I don't get to be on that podcast.
Oh,
Subscribe to his thing and listen to that because that's going to be.
Well, I don't know if that
You're
would
talking
be
about
I'm not pushing for it to
about
win.
perfect
Pick The Thing.
movies.
No, push for The Thing. I'm pushing for The Thing for you, Mike. That is legit one of my top maybe 3 movies ever made.
I've never seen the whole thing.
Oh,
So,
you've never seen the whole thing, or you've never seen the whole thing?
I never seen the whole movie. How about that? I've seen parts of it.
It's amazing. No,
So
it's,
I just never.
it's-
I don't like
it's
horror
a-
movies.
it's
I-
up there with the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Halloween.
I've never
I-
seen either of those.
The Triangle.
I put it with like Alien, Halloween, like
Yeah.
they're just like
It's
absolute
essential. It's
essential
a
viewing.
masterpiece of
I've
Yeah.
seen one of those movies you mentioned with Alien. I don't like horror movies. I stay away from them.
No, The Thing is a masterpiece of film. Practical effects, like body horror, spooky dogs,
mystery, psychological like tension.
and Kurt Russell at his
Mm-hmm.
absolute just peak fuckability.
I'm okay if it wins.
Oh my
Hey, it was
God.
$1. You can join our Patreon, Cody, and vote
Beautiful.
for it. Hey, only $1 every month.
Man.
You get to vote
All
for all the
right,
polls.
fine. I will join it.
All right. And want to give a shout out to my awesome intro and outro, courtesy of Helena at Hell Has Fury. You can follow her on TikTok. And shout out to my buddy Bill Tucker, who did all the MCU movies with me, who started his own podcast, The Gamer Looks at 40, who interviews people about how games affect their life. Great show. Definitely go check him out. I think that's everything I need to say. So we will see you guys all next time.
Take it easy, and if it's easy, take it twice.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.